All right, so your back's tweaked and you didn't really do anything traumatic to it, lifting heavy. It just kind of hurt one day. This is your psoas. This muscle that I'm going to highlight right there, it is a big piece of tender meat. It's actually the tenderloin of the body, and it runs through the body, through the hips here, right? And from lumbar 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way to thoracic 12, right? So it's a big long piece of meat, and it stabilizes the lumbar spine and the hips. Now, what can happen is when you are running around, playing your sport, flipping, lifting, whatever, right? It becomes hot, it becomes malleable, right? And then let's say you go and you sit down like this, right? That big piece of meat, that log that is running through your hips and under your guts, it gets short and it gets fat and it cools off. And basically, the potential for stuff to go wrong skyrockets because our body's being master compensators. That tissue goes in and it stays there because if you sit a lot, it says, oh, let's just make this easier. Then when you get back up into this extended position to go and shoot or whatever you're doing, it's now a little bit shorter and it starts to pull on your lumbar spine and create compression in the back and more compression here in the hip flexors. If you have a weak glute structure, that is a cascading effect of just bad shit that you don't want to happen. So how do we lengthen out the psoas complex? Really only one way to do it, and that's to smash it, right? So you can either take a kettlebell and get right here into the guts and just relax. You might be here for 3 minutes, you might be here for 20 minutes. But the longer that you do this, the less you'll have to do it, right? So you might as well take your time and do quality reps. So you're just gonna focus on the breath and letting the kettlebell sink down past your intestines and onto this meaty part of the psoas itself. When you feel a little release, once again, set a timer. It might be 3 minutes, it might be 10 minutes. When you feel a little release, creep up, shift the bell around.
And it's going to be really sensitive when he hits it. It's going to be really sensitive,
Probably going to be really sensitive. The other thing you could do is invest in this thing called a pso-right and get both at the same time, right? So what you're going to do, this is actually much more efficient. You're going to just lay down onto this bad boy, if you can see that. It's just above my hip bones, and I'm just chilling. I'm reading a magazine. I'm doing anything to keep sympathetic tone, which is fight or flight, keeping sympathetic tone as low as possible. So we want to nasal breathe and just chill, literally relax. When you're done, lift yourself up off that pso-right or that kettlebell or whatever. You can also lay down on the kettlebell. And then you can do some gentle stretching, like an upward facing dog, maybe a bind here. Anything that you can do to create extension to fight that flexion that is probably what's pulling on your low back.
Peace out.